So on paper, the Chicago Sky are out of their minds to let Chennedy Carter walk. But that's exactly what's happening, because they could have extended a qualifying offer for her, given, her free agent status. Instead, they declined to, which makes her an unrestricted free agent, which is them telling you they don't want her back.
Breaking news for basketball enthusiasts, hold on. This isn't your Eichel roster change. The Chicago Sky is collapsing in front of our own eyes, cutting their top scorer, Chennedy Carter. Carter is stirring up controversy as she enters free agency and isn't leaving quietly.
Considering their lack of scoring and shot creation and what she did last year and her talent, for them to just not want her back and to let her walk is a big statement. It's a big statement.
As they say, where there is smoke, there is fire, and in Chicago, it appears to be a 5-alarm situation. Blaze Carter has been destroying Angel Reese with cryptic tweets that have everyone buzzing. Something is really wrong in the Windy City if your top player is openly disparaging teammates. Stay tuned to see why Carter is losing his mind and why this portends problems for the Sky. Are you prepared to leave?
Chennedy Carter future in the W is not looking good, bro. I think it might just be over for her. Now, with all that being said, I know everybody want to know exactly what transpired online last night, and that's what we finna get into right now. Let's pull up this series of tweets, because the comment section of these tweets is unforgivable.
Amazingly, the Chicago Sky recently fired their top scorer. Yes, you heard correctly. It's quite a story twist that Chennedy Carter, the player who averaged an incredible 17.5 points per game the previous season, is now unemployed.
That's a reputation thing around the league. That's not out of nowhere. That's not nothing. And I think it says a lot that the Sky are the latest team to be willing to part with Chennedy Carter, especially considered how talented she is, because she's got skills. There's no questioning that.
Let's take a moment to dissect this. We're talking about a player who controlled the floor, leading the Sky and scoring, and then went on to light it up in China during the offseason, scoring about 30 points per game. Carter wasn't just good. She was on fire. This isn't just talent. This is superstar material.
GM put out a statement basically saying, the fits are going to be different and all that. But all the reporting and the common sense tells you that there were issues behind the scenes with Chennedy Carter, and this is not the first time. That has been the story of her WNBA career. And if someone else is going to give her a chance, it may be her last chance in the WNBA. But so it's almost shocking that it would happen from just a basketball personnel standpoint. But it's not surprising to see Chennedy Carter have a Sky goodbye, given everything else we know.
Hold on to your seats, because this is where things get ugly in the Sky. So why in the world would the Sky let go of a player like that? GM Jeff Palia hinted that there was more to this tale than simply the numbers when he discussed how Carter's position on the team was shifting. As everyone knows, in sports parlance, that signifies that Houston is having trouble.
He had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Chennedy had a fantastic season for us last year, according to the general manager. She is incredibly talented and a player who can influence the game at the highest level in our league. We sincerely appreciate everything she did for our team last year, but we wanted to give her the best chance as a free agent because we've changed our roster and our staff.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Chennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
Furthermore, the Sky isn't just letting Carter walk. Rather, they're essentially forcing her out the door. Palioka stated that they wanted to give her the best chance as a free agent. Translation: we'd rather not have you here. Thank you. Do you recall just a few years ago when the Sky were on top of the world, winning championships and making headlines for all the right reasons? Well, those days seem like they happened in the past now, as they finished last season with a miserable 13-win, 27-loss record, which is 5 games worse than the season before. People talk about a nosedive.
Chicago Sky franchise has been an absolute dumpster fire since winning the WNBA championship in 2021. Let's go through some of the names that have left. James Wade, who was the coach and GM, left in the middle of the season last year to go to the NBA. Candace Parker, Emma Messman, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, Clea Copper was traded, Azura Stevens. And then this year, after drafting Cardozo and Reese, they were competing for a playoff spot and traded Marina Mabrey, their veteran, before the Olympic break.
What is actually happening behind the scenes, then? There are rumors that the players were upset by Carter's actions in the locker room, and it appears that former coach Teresa Weatherspoon wasn't in a rush to resolve the matter. It's like witnessing a slow-motion train accident, isn't it?
After a 13-27 season, the Chicago Sky have decided to fire Teresa Weatherspoon. In the words of Vince McMahon, "You're fired!"
However, this is only the beginning of the Carter saga. We haven't even reached the Twitter drama yet. Carter has been slinging major shade, and guess who is in her crosshairs? Angel Reese. Of course so. You had best expect that we will get into that tasty mess shortly. Alright, let's discuss the origin of the issue. Teresa Weatherspoon recalls her former WNBA player who became a coach and was meant to lead Chicago to the promised land, but things didn't work out as planned.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
In the Sky, Weatherspoon transformed the locker room into something straight out of Mean Girls. And guess who was her teacher's pet? Angel Reese. You know how sometimes you meet your heroes, and it's a complete letdown? That's pretty much what happened with Weatherspoon.
I can't help but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me, always. Me. Well, you may have a player that has decided that she's had enough of that.
It was like watching a proud mother at a middle school talent show, except this was supposed to be professional basketball, and the rest of the team might as well have been invisible. When a coach starts playing favorites, things get messy very quickly. Weatherspoon gave Reese all the minutes, all the plays, all the love. It's understandable why the team chemistry soured more quickly than a missed layup from Reese when players were sitting on the bench watching her boost her stats, even when they were behind by 20 points.
The development of Camila Cardoso is an underrated aspect of everything because she didn't really shine last year because Angel got so much love, and that's not a diss. It's just, Cardoso was drafted higher and wasn't there at the beginning of the season, and they're not a perfect mix. So how they balance that, how the new coach balances that, is going to be interesting to see.
Maybe much worse, In addition to being obnoxious, Weatherspoon's coaching style was actually poisonous. According to anonymous reports, players were tired of the locker room. The emphasis was on individual glory rather than team accomplishment. After all, who needs victories when you can have Instagram highlights? Not to mention the unfortunate Camila Cardoso, the rookie who ought to have been the star. If her employment depended on it, the next big thing Weatherspoon couldn't figure out how to use her. Wait, it did.
This Chennedy Carter Instagram account right here, guys. And I'm here to tell you, bruh, she's been going on a little rant all night long. Now, this is the tweet right here that kind of sparked everything. She stated, "I think the ability to consistently make layups just put anyone in a different tier. So important to score easy." Now, a lot of people is insinuating that this tweet is towards Angel Reese.
A Hall of Famer should be more knowledgeable, but Weatherspoon's playbook seems to focus more on getting the ball to Angel and winging it in late-game scenarios, which are more akin to late-game catastrophes. It makes sense that the players lost respect more quickly than the games that were lost.
It's like I've been telling y'all, bro. She has been making it her business to sneak this Angel Reese every chance she get. Now, since she's been cut, it look even more obvious. Somebody said, "LOL, you ate down." Now, this tweet right here just popped up here. somebody tried to come into the defense of her because we know she's a free agent. So, like, if you throw teammates, ex-teammates under the bus, that's going to hurt you even more.
The icing on the cake for this dysfunction. By the time Sunday Weatherspoon was dismissed, the damage had already been done, and the Sky had changed from a possible candidate to a warning tale due to her total lack of discipline. What is Carter currently saying about Reese?
As an organization, we just, felt it was time to make a change. There's just private issues that I think we will keep just in the Sky locker room.
The problem with professional athletes is that they enjoy disclose information on social media, and in relation to the Chicago Sky, Chennedy Carter just stepped up the ante. You know, those ambiguous tweets that make you wonder, what's the real story? Well, Carter unleashed a bombshell that had everyone figuring things out more quickly than you can say. Let's break it down, layup. Carter tweeted about how important it is to make layups innocent enough, but as you can see, Angel Reese had been having trouble with them all season. Her success rate was 42.4%, which is the lowest in the WNBA. That's not just bad. Perhaps you should try underhand, as Reese only managed to sin 136 out of 321 attempts.
Now, Marina Mabrey, she's already flown the coop on this team, and it was quote-unquote because of culture. Well, what happened to the culture? Who torched the culture? Who's selfish on the team that would cause the culture to melt down?
As I've been telling you guys, she has been making it her mission to steal Angel Reese whenever she can. Now that she's been cut, it looks even more obvious. Someone said, LOL, you ate down, and this tweet just appeared here. Someone tried to defend her because, as we all know, she is a free agent, so it will only hurt you more if you put a former teammate under the bus.
There's a level of discipline and a level of professionality here where, the players just have to worry about playing basketball. A lot of things don't get down to the players, and I think that's really good.
Now compare that to Carter's performance, where our girl was killing over 60% of her layups. Talk about a not-so-humble brag. It's like bringing a gourmet dish to a potluck while your teammate brings burnt cookies. But wait, there's more. A fan posted a graphic displaying these layup percentages. Carter was compelled to translate comments for non-Twitter users, and you did it flawlessly. You won't lie as subtly as a sledgehammer, isn't that right?
Obviously, the players here are very experienced, and they want to keep a good environment, and they make sure that they kind of hold people accountable for that. So
naturally, Carter attempted to backpedal more quickly than a defensive guard when the rumors began to circulate. She said, "I just focus on me," which was literally about me and how unique of a craft it is. Well, Chennedy, you know what's crazy? This Twitter drama isn't just about two players fighting. It's a sign of a much larger issue in Chicago. We're talking about locker room tensions, favoritism, and a team culture that's about as stable as a Jenga tower during an earthquake.
The agents were skeptical of joining the Sky. On Wednesday, Pagliata acknowledged the team had heard things along those lines. It's really bad.
Remember when Marina Ma was traded to the Connecticut Suns and expressed her desire to be on a championship team or to compete for a championship? Well, she wasn't finished. Later, she praised Connecticut's professionalism and discipline, saying that players only need to worry about playing basketball. Keep in mind, people, this is the same Connecticut team that practices in front of yoga classes and birthday parties, and they might still believe that this is superior to the Chicago double ouch. It was as if she was saying, "Thank God, I'm out of that dumpster fire."
In sports, it's a big opportunity to be a part of this rising tide that we're all experiencing. Everybody in this company's all in. Everybody in this city's all in.
You are aware of what people say actions speak louder than words, but in the case of Marina Ma, her words speak volumes about the mess she left behind in Chicago. When a player is so excited about the professionalism and discipline of their new team, you know something is seriously wrong with their old squad. But wait, there's more. She continued by praising the Suns seasoned players' desire to maintain a positive environment and ensure that they hold people accountable, which isn't just throwing shade and is completely destroying the Sky organization.
Thing about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
Remember Camila Cardoso, the Sky's third overall pick in the 2024 draft? Well, it turns out that she was about as helpful to the team as a screen door on a submarine. According to reports, the previous coaching staff was too busy playing favorites with certain players to develop Cardoso's potential. Guess what happens when you combine wasted talent with a toxic locker room? You get a recipe for disaster that would make even the worst chef on Hell's Kitchen look like a Michelin-starred chef. The Sky weren't just losing games. They were losing their identity as a professional basketball team.
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
How can a once proud franchise recover from this kind of blow? Well, it begins with acknowledging that you have a problem, and at least Sky management appears to be moving in that direction. GM Jeff Paglia essentially acknowledged that the need for a cultural change within the team played a role in the decision to fire Chennedy Carter. Let's talk about a team that is doing things correctly for a change, while the Chicago Sky is busy collapsing faster than a building slated for demolition. The Indiana Fever is a small squad in Indiana that is teaching everyone how to do it.
The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
What is their secret sauce? Do you recall the days when the NBA was the punching bag? Well, guess what? In just one season, they went from being bottom feeders to playoff contenders, and the best part was that they did it without the drama, Twitter feuds, and locker room meltdowns that we've been witnessing in Chicago. The top fever is where it begins. In her own words, President Kelly Krakoff isn't playing around. She's focused on creating a cult culture that endures rather than merely following fleeting trends. I firmly believe that we're situated for a fantastic and prosperous future period of basketball fever, and you know what I think she